It's become a cool thing, but it's like, yeah, this intersection of product marketing and moms. Who knew? There's a lot of us actually.
We exist. And then we're
Yes.
all finding each other. And it's these types of communities then where we get to have that drawn into to find one another. And if we go back then, Mary, so life with Propel now is great, having that resource, having that program, having that community. If we go back then to those times 5, 10 years ago, when that point in time of motherhood and career colliding, you've used words like struggle, that it is a struggle. I would say it's a shock to the system as well, from my experience. What are three words you'd use to summarize that moment when the two worlds collide, so to speak?
Exhausting definitely comes to mind. Scared, meaning like scared I'm going to miss out on something. So maybe FOMO is a better term for that. And overwhelmed.
Yeah, scared, FOMO, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Absolutely comes through for me as well. I can resonate with all three of those. And can you share with our listeners some of the context behind that? Like, why was that for you at that time?
Yeah. So with my first child, he's 6 now. When I went back to work, it was 2019. So pre-COVID, pre all the, shutdowns and everything. And I had a job where I worked 5 days a week in the office with a 40-minute commute each way. And that was very normal. That was like, oh, cool, this is a doable commute. Great. I lived in the Bay Area in the States. And I actually went back after maternity leave to a new job. So I felt like I actually didn't feel like I had to. I just only knew one way of showing up at my job, which was like fully all in, 100% on all the time, saying yes to everything. And I remember that first day back, I also had said yes to a work dinner. And what I didn't really think about is like, I'd never been away from my son for that long. He was only 4 months old, but here I was. It was almost 8 o'clock at night. I'd been working all day. I was so tired. And I just was frantically looking at my watch. I knew I had already missed bedtime, but I was thinking about the next day and like, how am I going to get home and get to sleep in time? I'm devastated that I didn't get to put my baby to bed. And am I going to be able to wake up in time to have some quality time with him in the morning? I was just like, oh my God, is this how every day is going to be? So I skipped out before the bill was paid. It was corporate dinner. So someone else took it and they understood. And actually, I remember a few of the dads at the table were like, this is the first time you've left your baby alone. Oh my God, get out of here. So like, I think if I had communicated it a little bit better, people would have been like, don't come to dinner. We'll do lunch another time. So that was on me. I just didn't even think about it. I didn't know. So it was just a lot. It was, learning new routines. With my husband and I, he took off some time coming back when I went back to work, which was really nice to transition. But after, that initial shock, when he came back to work, we're like, oh my God, this is our life. Like we have to juggle daycare pickup. We have to be really communicative, feel like we're always leaving. I started leaving work at 4, which felt so early, just so I can make it to a 5 o'clock daycare pickup without having any stress about missing it in traffic. Just things like that. The logistics of it all were so stressful. And then I remember constantly just feeling like I was not giving my best at work because my brain was like foggy. So, I was back. It was 4 months. I was like, give me another couple of months, guys. Like, you'll see 100% Mary and you'll be wowed. And that is what happened. Like, I found out ways to be more efficient. I found out ways to have a better routine and actually like work out a little bit in the morning, sort of wake up before I got in the car. But I just remember it being so hard because I was trying to do everything that I did before with work, answer every Slack message within 10 minutes or be in every committee, be a leader on all of these big projects. And like, I just did not have enough time to do that. So I think those, we talk about it a lot, but really when you become a mom, learning how to prioritize things and delegate is you just cannot live your life at work without that. That became just like skill number one. How do I operate every week by doing this? And then just figuring out what it was I needed at home and to start my day and to just feel sane. So I had to be so much more prescriptive about things than I ever was before because I didn't have the luxury of just like, oh, I can just work all night or I can just wake up super early and work. It's like my kid was still waking up in the middle of the night. It wasn't, like you're not sleeping all the time. You're not thinking correctly. So just being so much more regimented and really being honest about the things I needed to perform as both a mom and an employee in a way I'd never thought about before. So it was a lot.
It is a lot, and you've really beautifully summarized all of what's going on, even the micro repetitive things. I actually felt for a second in my body that stress of the school, well, not even the school run, getting to the nursery
Yeah.
before their one from. I remember watching the clock and thinking, if I don't get out this meeting at this time, if I don't get through the doors at this time, the whole commute will be stress.
Awful. Yes,
And
totally.
I felt it when you said, I know it would be stress if I'm not out. I could feel it. I remember that daily.
You might be in a situation where you want to be going for that next career move. You might be in a situation where you need to reframe and say, I have enough on my plate right now. How do I be okay not working 65 hours a week? Or some people are just really thinking about other creative outlets that they've always wanted to start, like podcasts, like newsletters, writing a book. And so it's really about giving women the confidence and support to do that in this very different time. Those of us that are ambitious, high earners, we are used to working a lot. We're used to showing up and being those A+ students. And then having kids, you now have it's kind of a split identity where you have to put on a lot of time for that. And we kind of jokingly call it group therapy sometimes because I think a big value add is just understanding most of the moms that are working are not the Instagram moms, not the perfect, households that you're seeing on the highlight reel. Like we are all struggling a bit. And it's really nice to just be able to, yeah, see that, see the examples, and be able to talk through how you're really handling things.
So then I was able to just give myself permission to really think about what I want next and what my next season is going to be. So
Yes, and you've been a beacon for us since your girls are 10. So a lot of the women in it were like had a newborn or mine are 3 and 6. And it's like, what is this going to look like? What's this next chapter? So I learned a lot from you seeing how your relationship with your kids evolved. And it's really cool. That's why I think the community and having other moms is so important because you can learn from each other too at different stages. And so this is something that's very different and needed. And yes, I think that it will continue to grow. And I'm just excited of the lives it's touched so far.
and I love that we both worked with coaches in the past because you can just see having that space and reflection gets you outside your own head
Yes,
and into your uncomfortable zone where then look, stuff happens. So that's great to hear.
absolutely. But thanks, Hope. This is such a wonderful podcast you have. And so excited that you're doing this. And thank you for having me on.
Absolute pleasure. And I'll be sure to share all of that in the show notes as well. So thank you, and I'll speak to you soon.
Sounds great.